All right, Acqua di Gio Parfum. Is it any good? Hey Fragrance family, I'm David and I'm a fragrance bro, of course your best source for everything fragrance related. Now I am a big fan of the original Acqua di Gio by Armani. It was one of those fragrances that really kind of put me in the frame of mind to start getting into the fragrance world. I have a lot of memories associated with Acqua di Gio, so when they came out with the Parfum version, I was really interested to see if it was any good, if it was the same, if it smelled different, if it was stronger, all that. So let's go ahead and get straight to it. But before we do that, if you like this type of content, feel free to subscribe down below. I think you'll really like it here. All right, now if you watched a previous video that I made a video about Grey Vetiver Parfum, and I talked about it versus the original Grey Vetiver. I'm gonna be referencing that video a little bit because I wanna talk about the parfum kind of craze that has happened in the last couple of years and see how it compares to this fragrance here. Now the original fragrance came out, I think in 1995, 1996-ish, something like that, and it was a phenomenon. I mean, it was one of those fragrances that really created a whole genre of fragrances. It kind of spearheaded a lot of the aquatic movement that came after it. It's a fantastic scent. Today, of course, I think it's really kind of watered down. The modern version of it is not as good as the way it used to be. It kind of has suffered from its own success. It so saturated the market with Acqua di Gio that people kind of got tired of it. And then after that came all the clones and knockoffs and kind of lookalikes, sound-alikes, smell-alikes of Acqua di Gio, and it really got really tiring really fast. So when I smell someone else just walking around with Acqua di Gio on, I'm like, bless your heart. Now notes in this are pretty similar to the original one, but I think there's probably fewer of them here. It's marine notes, bergamot, rosemary, geranium, clary sage, frankincense, and patchouli. Now how does this stack up to the original Acqua di Gio? And I have to say, I think it's very similar to the original one. I don't have the original Acqua di Gio on hand, but what this really reminds me of, it really reminds me of those memories associated with Acqua di Gio, which I think is kind of the strongest tell here. It does remind me a lot, so much so, of the original one. That's a good thing, I think. Now, how does this smell? Well, I mean, it's just like the original one. It's aquatic. It's kind of salty, it's kind of citrusy, kind of floral, kind of green. It's a really interesting scent. It's really hard to explain. I've heard some people explain it's almost like a soda, and I get that. It has almost a slightly effervescent quality to it. It has almost like this sweet and sour-like quality to it. There's a little bit of bitterness in there. There's a little bit of greenness in there, but you can't really pick out any of the notes. I'm okay with that. It's just kind of really kind of this mood, this essence. It doesn't really have notes that I can say, that I can point to and I can say, I get this, this, and this. I don't really get that necessarily. I just get this kind of just full type of fragrance that has a vibe. That I think is really cool. I am really kind of tired of the kind of eau de parfums or absolus or whatever they are, the kind of rebranding of a fragrance that kind of shuffles around notes. They do that a lot in the fragrance world, and it really kind of gets tiring to me. What I really want, and I think what everyone really wants, is they want a stronger version of the original, but pretty much the same scent. That's what a lot of people are looking for, and that I think is what this is. The original one doesn't really last a long time, at least not on me. Maybe around the 6-hour range tops. And I think, you know, with the modern formulation, with kind of the watering down of it over time, that's kind of understandable. It's had a long, long run. I don't really disparage it for not lasting long anymore. This newer version does last longer, but I would not say that it's really super strong or really beastly. I would say really this kind of reminds me of an eau de toilette, what I expect of an eau de toilette. The kind of 8-hour range with average, moderate projection and performance. That's what this is right here. One thing that I've really criticized fragrance companies for is not really divulging what the percentage of volume of the oils there are in a fragrance. If they make an eau de toilette and then they make an eau de parfum and they make a parfum version, I want to know what the concentration is. How much more concentrated is this than the original one? I want to know that, but no one does that. And so you really don't know how much more concentrated this is than the other ones. Now, they have made other fragrances in the Acqua di Gio line. Obviously, they've made a whole slew of fragrances in that line, some of them being an eau de parfum version, some of them being an absolute version, and of course, this one right here. Now, I have tried those, but it's just been a while, so I don't have those fresh on my mind, and I don't have them to compare, so I really don't know how this stacks up to all the other ones. Now, season and occasion, I think, are very similar to the original one. I think that's a good thing as well. Definitely spring and summer, and definitely casual and work, maybe. I definitely would not wear this on a date. I definitely would not wear this for formal situations. It's just too kind of bro-ish. To me, this is a very casual scent. I'm okay with that, but it's just very casual. Now, this is one of those cases where I'm actually glad they made a parfum version, unlike Great Vetiver, in which they made a parfum version that I think was kind of just a cash grab. This, I think, is really worth it if you want the fragrance that you used to have back in, the day when it was a lot stronger. This is as strong as I remember it being at the time. Maybe a little bit stronger, I'm not sure. It's not beastly, but it's back, I would say. This was a much needed refresher, much needed stronger version of the original one. I don't think that it's going to satisfy everyone. I know some people, when they see parfum, they're going to say, I wanted beast mode. And I get that. I understand that. When someone advertises it as such, I really understand wanting it to be even stronger than this. Unfortunately, it's just not that strong. It's not as strong as some people would like, but it is a stronger version than the original one, so at least there is that. So I'm at least happy about that. So I do think that this deserves to exist, and I do think that it probably deserves the price point. It's higher than the original one, obviously. It's newer, so you can't really find this on the secondhand market, but I do think that it's worth getting. And if you get it, I think you should get it here. With that, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Fragrance X. Fragrance X is an online reseller that sells thousands of legitimate products for a discounted cost. If you're considering buying a fragrance, definitely check out Fragrance X. I'll have a link down below to them as well as a coupon. But also check out Rakuten.com. Rakuten.com is a website that offers you a rebate with every purchase that you make through their website. They actually have a deal with Fragrance X that offers you a certain percentage in rebates just by buying through Rakuten. So I'll have a link down below to them as well. Definitely check out Fragrance X and Rakuten together. Great. But what do you think? I would love to know your thoughts. What do you think of Acqua di Gio Parfum? I think it's really good. I think it stacks up really well to the original one, but I would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm Dave with the Fragrance Bros. Bye.